Let me be blunt, it could be worse. At least the Indiana Fever aren't the Chicago Sky. I mean, if that means anything. Maybe it doesn't, but still. There's some minor comfort in knowing you're not that team right now. The Sky were down by 30-plus points at one stage. Their biggest deficit? 34. And that was without the other team's best player even suiting up. So yeah, it's bad over here. But it's worse over there. Now. Before anyone tries to claim some moral victory, let me be clear. There are no gold stars for losing by fewer points. None. But hey, if you're looking for something, anything to cope with, at least the Fever didn't get stomped on national TV the way the Sky did. And if you enjoy misery commentary, maybe throw a like on the video. Let's shoot for 300 likes. Why not? Back to the carnage. Breanna Stewart went off as expected. Meanwhile, Angel Reese had her best performance of the year, 17 points and 11 rebounds. She also turned the ball over 5 times, and honestly, it could have easily been 9. But hey, it was still her most impressive showing by far. Beck Allen was invisible out there, literally a non-factor. Cardoso, somehow, ended up with a plus-minus of 0 in a game where her team got demolished. That's impressive in its own bizarre way. Chicago's point guard situation is a mess. Haley Van Lith struggled again, and when she's not on the floor, they essentially have no one who can run the offense. The Fever, for all their problems, have at least squeaked out a few wins without their star point guard. The Sky? Watching them, you'd think they were actively trying to lose. I genuinely don't know when they'll win again. And let's not downplay how much they miss Courtney Vandersloot. Salute was the glue holding that whole team together. Angel Reese deserves credit. This was her breakout performance. She attacked, she rebounded, she played with energy. Turnovers aside, she looked like a pro. But even on her best day, the team around her was nowhere near good enough. The Liberty, despite missing key players, could afford to put in bench squads for extended stretches, and still dominated. Sabrina Ionescu barely touched the court in the fourth quarter. Natasha Cloud, done after 18 minutes. It didn't matter. The Liberty cruised. They were so comfortable, they gave Nia Clouden and Jalen Sherrod meaningful minutes, and they held their own. That's depth. That's what a real contender looks like. Meanwhile, Chicago is out there grasping at straws. Stat sheets might say Cardoso had a decent game, but the eye test, not great. She's not having the impact expected from someone drafted so high. The Sky were outclassed from start to finish. Sure, they made it slightly more respectable late in the game, but only when New York had shifted into full cruise control. And it wasn't because of defensive stops or tactical brilliance. They just happened to hit some shots after the Liberty stopped trying. This team sat in a 2-3 zone all night hoping for bricks, and even though New York shot the ball poorly, 1 of 5 here, 0 of 2 there, 2 of 6, they were still up by 30 at one point. That tells you everything. And fans clamoring for a super team in Chicago. Let's get real. Super teams don't just materialize out of nowhere. First, you need a competent front office, one that's willing to be ruthless. That means making tough cuts, taking risks on undervalued overseas talent, and not overpaying veterans just for name recognition. Right now, the Fever might be overpaying everyone who's not on a rookie deal, but at least they have a direction. The Sky? They're lost. Front office decisions seem driven more by PR optics than basketball logic. So yes, as bad as things are for the Fever, it could still be worse. They're 4-5, the Sky are 2-6. That's a huge difference in the WNBA standings. One team's clinging to a play-in spot, the other is sinking with no lifeboat in sight. Both teams are struggling, but the Fever situation feels just a bit more hopeful, especially with their star point guard set to return soon. And about that, Courtney Vandersloot's injury may have quietly ended her career. It was that bad. Yet some people had the audacity to blame Ari McDonald for a hard foul on a non-contact injury. That's not just wrong, it's shameful. So yeah, that game, it couldn't have gone much worse. But here we are, and if there's any tiny silver lining to be found, it's this. The Fever might be a mess, but at least they're not the Sky.